Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Communication Leadership First Friday at UW. I am Liao Zhao, the head of outreach. And also welcome our new cohort 24 students. So for those of you who are new to Comlead First Friday session, I want to share with you that every month, we host this online networking event with a partner organization or a company. So we can learn about their culture, what they do, and what their hiring process looks like, and let you interact with their hiring manager. So usually we'll start with a 30 minutes conversation with our guest speakers and then followed by a Q&A. In the second part, let you join the breakout rooms to further engage with our hiring managers or guest speakers in a small group. So always make sure to bring your questions. Now, for today's First Friday, we invite a close partner, UW Advancement and University Marketing and Communications team. So they will give us an exclusive information session and share about upcoming job openings. So let me hand it over to Amanda Moore from UW Advancement, and she will introduce herself and share more insights. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Liao. It's great to interact with this wonderful program. Every interaction I've had with the students from the Communication Leadership Program have just been fantastic. So we're thrilled to be here and to have gotten this invite today. My name, just to give you an introduction, I'm Amanda Moore. I use she, her pronouns. I am a talent acquisition specialist supporting UW Advancement. Our advancement team here at the university is large. We're around 700 or so employees. This is because we integrate marketing and communications, fundraising, operations, and alumni and stakeholder engagement. We're here today specifically to focus on our great partners within marketing and communications. So we're excited to have a couple of folks for y'all to meet today. On the call is Jordan Woodard. She is a program operations specialist for UMAC. We also have Valentina Gomez Bravo. She is our executive creative director. And Stephen Norris, who is our AVP for digital strategy. So what we're going to do today is really give you just a quick overview into what UMAC is, what the team does, and then we received a lot of great questions from y'all already. So I have a list of those questions to run through, and we're really just going to kind of have a conversation. I'm going to pitch questions to Jordan, to Valentina, to Stephen, maybe even have follow-ups based on that. And then we'll try our best to leave some time for additional questions that come in through the chat. And of course, a little overview into what it looks like to apply for a job here with the UW and with marketing and communications in general. So to kick us off, I am going to hand this over to Jordan to give you a quick overview of university marketing and communications.
Yay, thank you, Amanda. And thank you everyone for joining today. This is the second event that I've done with the Calm Leadership Program, and it's been super awesome to engage with you guys. So today I'm just going to take you through a quick introduction to what UMAC, or University Marketing and Communications, we know UW loves their acronyms, is. So our team really is the ultimate brand ambassadors for the university. So we are the central branding, marketing, and communications office. We sit within University Advancement, as Amanda was saying, alongside other partners. And we bring together staff from a various range of marketing, communications, and digital strategy disciplines to carry out efforts in support of the university's priorities. We have 5 main groups here that really comprise or make up the UMAC team, which is branding and marketing, communications, creative, digital strategy, and then finance and operations. And that's the team that I sit on, is the smallest one. There's only 3 of us. And then we also have several reporting or joint reporting relationships with different communications offices and leaders from across different colleges and offices within the university as well. And so that's a lot of words I just gave you. So what does that really mean on paper, right? So this is a very high level overview of kind of how those 5 main teams go even deeper and which areas people focus on. So you can see there is a variety of opportunities within the university marketing and communications team. We were just discussing before the call started that we are sitting at about 110 people total between direct UMAC reports and also those joint reports and partnerships that we talked about here. So you can range from anything of video production and UW photography to UW news production, executive communications for President Kause, as well as social media, web strategy. There's really no limit to the work and the things that the UMAC team touches when it comes to the university. And so now that we've kind of covered who we are, what we do is partner with everyone across the university. So we talked about advancing the university's priorities, but we also tell stories. And we do this by featuring stories on student achievements you see on the website, writing news articles that highlight research, market to prospective students and donors, as well as more external facing events like our annual recognition gala. We also are responsible for the presidential communications and then the management of the university's sponsorships and trademarks team, which is a lot. Again, there's no pop quiz at the end, so you don't have to memorize all of these, but we can get this information out to you guys as a follow-up if anyone has any questions. And then just a quick example of what that means. Collectively Admitted Student Day, which most of you probably attended when you became UW students, is put together in large partnership by the UMAC team, from our events team who planned everything in Red Square to the content team and our creative team using the admissions packet. It was really kind of a full circle moment for the team. Everybody kind of had a little hand in everything. And so I just wanted to share with you guys that that's kind of, when you think about UMAC and the things that we touch, it's really everything. And without further ado, the next thing I'm going to do is introduce you to 2 of our awesome, fearless leaders here. We have Valentina, the Executive Creative Director, and then Stephen Norris is the AVP for Digital Strategy. So I'm not sure if I'm kicking it back over to you, Amanda, first. Perfect.
Yeah, thank you so much. I do think that that's a great opportunity, though, to give Stephen and Valentina an opportunity to just give us a quick introduction, if you don't mind. So, remind us again, even though it's on the screen, your name, what you do for the university. And let's go with favorite project that you've worked on so far.
Okay, well, I can start. My name is Valentina Bravo. I use she, her, ella pronouns. I'm the Executive Creative Director within UMAC. What does that mean? I lead the creative team that works on all the pieces of marketing and communications that we create at the university. My team is comprised of our graphic designers, photographers, brand specialists, project managers, video producers, motion graphic designers. And writers and editors. So everything creative. We're a total group of 23. And we serve all of the university's central communications and marketing, and also partner with all of the units to support their marketing and communications efforts. The biggest, it's hard to pick a favorite, but I would say the latest that you might have seen, and if you haven't, maybe we can drop a link in the chat so you can take a look, is our latest brand anthem, which is a piece of video content that the whole creative team and some of our partners participated in. We launched it about a month ago, I want to say, and it's been playing in platforms online, and it's also been playing on TV during our newest season of football games, and it's our newest, let's say, statement as a brand, as a big piece of communication, and it's a part of a larger marketing campaign that we've also started releasing recently to just keep telling our stories and keep building our brand in the market. So that's been the most exciting one, I would say. It's been also a huge project. I started with the team in January, and it's taken since January, and before that even, to finally be able to launch a full product that we have in a long version and a 30-second version for TV ads that launched about a month ago. So yeah, that would be mine.
Great work. And I worked with Valentina. I encourage you to watch that video. It is voiced by Gene Smart, who just hosted Saturday Night Live this past weekend, who a University of Washington alum. The shots in that video are fantastic and really touched all parts of our team, of how that was built and planned for. Makes me feel really proud to be part of the University of Washington. I've been here since November of last year as Assistant Vice President of Digital Strategy with UMAC. I work with our web strategy teams, our UX and UI developers. We have email marketing teams that are growing, thinking about how we reach out to our intended audiences in the most impactful ways. And then our social media team as well. So we're operating the top level web, top level social media accounts, trying to make sure that we're focused and strategic about how we use all of these digital properties to put the University of Washington's best foot forward. I came from Georgia Tech in Atlanta. Before that, I worked in journalism and did some consulting work for TV stations in terms of digital strategy. So it's been fun to be out here in Seattle, learn more about this campus and the incredible research that happens here. And that's really what we get to do in UMAC. Tell the amazing stories that are happening on campus to as many different audiences as want to listen. And it's a lot of fun.
Thank you. Well, to dive right into a lot of the amazing questions that we received before this event even started, and as we answer questions, as you think of them, please, feel free to pop some more questions in the chat. We'll try to keep an eye out on that. But this next question is probably a bit of a challenging one, and I'm gonna ask every member representing UMAC, because it will look different depending on the role that you hold. So this question is, what does a typical day look like for somebody working in UMAC? I will actually throw this to Jordan first, because she's really seeing probably the operational project management side of things. So I'll give Valentina and Steven some time to think about this one.
Yeah, that's actually perfect because I realized I didn't really do a good introduction at the beginning. So sorry about that. I jumped right into the PowerPoint, but I'm Jordan Woodard. I am the Program Operations Specialist for the UMAC team. I've been with the university since May of 2023. I currently lead our intern hiring and recruiting program, as well as partnering with Amanda to help onboard any of our new professional staff as well. So a lot of the day-to-day for me is really interacting with people across different programs within advancement and outside, like you guys as external partners from UMAC, but still within the university. And a lot of that just entails scheduling interviews, contacting people for availability, as well as once people get hired, getting them set up with all the equipment they need, as well as getting them involved in various orientation sessions with leaders from across the organization in UMAC. So it really is in operations, I guess, kind of a little bit of everything. I really hold true to the other duties as described, bullet point in my job description, because every day really brings something new, a new question, a new person, a new opportunity, to engage with someone. And I think that's kind of the beauty of operations in what I do in every day, is that I'm really just helping people. And that's something that I'm passionate about. So I would say that's what my typical day looks like. Hopefully that's enough time for Valentina and Steven to come up with an answer.
Go. Gosh, so I think one of the best parts of our job is that every day looks a little bit different. You have such a variety of projects that you get to work on. And that reminds me, I forgot to say the most exciting thing that I've worked on since I've been here was being part of the national championship run last year. And that's a good example of just the kind of things that we get to be a part of figuring out how do we mobilize a community? How do we post on social about this in the most creative ways? Can we reach out to the Space Needle and see if they'll light it up purple so we can get a picture and put it on Instagram, right? Like those types of conversations are a lot of fun. So any given day could look about having a conversation of what's on our homepage. Why is it there? How are we long-term planning for what that looks like in continuity of the decisions we make for a major property? We recently relaunched the branding page that goes along with the video that Valentina's team has pulled together. So we talk a lot of things about big picture branding and marketing, what that looks like in digital spaces. It can look anywhere. The variance of opportunities in a day is probably the most interesting aspect, at least for me, that we get to work on a wide variety of projects. Some are very serious. Sometimes it's crisis related. Sometimes it's reputational in nature of making sure that information is correct or verified. But then we do a lot of fun stuff as well. Going out to shoot all the video that was associated with that brand anthem was, I think, really cool for Valentina's team to be on site, or to have do some research about our Big Ten institutions and the common connections that we have, and figure out how can we share this on web and on social. How do we build a web page that tells a story that will integrate with an email send that goes with posts on Facebook and Instagram? So yeah, any given day can be really anything. So that is one of the most ever-changing and exciting parts of working with UMAC here at UW.
Yeah, I'll second that. Every day is different, especially depending on where you sit in the team. It also looks very different. So for example, for people in my team, a day can look very different for one of our editors than it might be for one of our designers. But in general, we spend a lot of time either strategizing or brainstorming on how to bring that strategy to life in a creative way. And then, of course, executing that creative and strategic vision in all the different media placements and media formats that we use to tell our stories. And it can be anything as simple as supporting the social team and going out and capturing footage for a post, to creating this big brand anthem piece that took months to build. We partner with so many units, so it could start as little as having a conversation with some of our units to get them in partnership, pitching the project, seeing if they want to be a part of it. Then all of the production to be able to do something. Going on the shoots, of course, is the most fun part of it all. And if once you see the piece, we were literally everywhere, and we worked with so many partners in so many different places to get this piece done. But then also you have all the work of how do we share this piece later, monitoring how it does once it's posted by the digital team and how it performs, and then of course adjusting accordingly to be able to match our goals. So there's a lot of little things that come into play, and everybody in the team plays an important role in how we bring these things together. But I would say the most fun part of it all is how different it is. Like I could spend a full day consulting with units, and then I could spend a full day on site. We have a photo shoot on Monday for some ads for UW Magazine, but then we've spent today reviewing resumes for a position that is open and meeting with our operations team to see what projects we're kicking off next week. So it changes so much that it keeps it very, very interesting.
I love that. Thank you. You can tell that I guess I'm the one taking up all of Valentina's time today, it seems, with resumes and inviting her to speak with everybody here today. So thank you. The next question we received, thinking about that day to day, and I love this question. How do you incorporate AI into your daily work routine, and what does that look like currently? Valentina and Stephen, this one is definitely for y'all, I think.
It's funny. I was just literally got off another call and came down here from with our email marketing group. We are wanting to do a redesign of this monthly email that we send to about 450,000 UW alumni. I got here in November. I've encouraged the folks on our team to really know that they have the space to think big, and if they want to implement changes, that we can do that. One of them was, hey, we haven't redesigned the look of this email since it first launched in 2018. So we said, let's do it. We had our brainstorm meeting where we're laying out the plan and the timeline for the work that we're going to do, talking about the ideas. I've actually been beta testing Copilot with Microsoft, which is their AI tool. And Microsoft, we have a master services agreement with here at UW, so a lot of our technology ties in to that suite of tools. I had it listen to our meeting and then had it prompt the recap of the meeting for us, so we knew what the deliverables moving forward would be, and just super helpful for all of us to be able to do that. I'm encouraging our teams to leverage AI tools where they can, whether that's in assistance with maybe A/B testing headlines or prompting social media ideas. It's a certain, maybe it's like National Ice Cream Day. If we were going to develop a post that was targeted for the University of Washington, what are some ideas that we might be able to do? What I am sort of discouraging them to do, and I think that we're all trying to be mindful of where does AI meet at the intersection of something that's editorial or artistic? Because we're putting that out to the public. To share an image that has been created by AI is something that where we've got other people who do graphic design or do writing. There's a little bit of an ethical situation there if for public universities, we really do need to be mindful about where we put that type of content. So right now, I think we're looking more about how do you use AI as an assistant or to enhance the work that you do, not to be a replacement for work, because quite honestly, a lot of the stuff that it's spitting out is just not ready to go. It needs a human eye. The AI assistance tools don't really understand nuance or not great at emotion. And that's a lot of the work that we do of wanting to make things that really connect with people. So still needs a lot of extra finessing and extra touch from professionals in our fields. We're not getting replaced anytime soon, but it really can help you streamline work or generate ideas when you're maybe at a place where you're stuck. So that's where we're incorporating AI right now.
And the ethical conversation and also the equity and diversity conversation on how these tools are used and what comes out of these tools is huge and central to how we use things. Also things like privacy, if we don't input, let's say, any proprietary or any personal information of any kind. So all those things are not, let's say, features that we use in the way we use AI. For the creative team particularly, we only use it in ways to, let's say, make a task more efficient. For example, we use Asana for project management. That tool has a lot of AI features to help us automate some things in the way we set up our projects. So all those AI features to automate the creation of tasks, the marking of tasks, the sorting of information, those things we use through our Asana tool. Our designers and photographers might use some of the AI features in Adobe and the Adobe software to, let's say, help retouch a photo or help clear out, any issues a file might have, or help expand the size of a file. So more things that kind of facilitate the work that we do than actually using things that substitute the work that we do. So it's more enhancing tools that already are embedded in a lot of the software that we use. Same with every time we do an interview, our writers transcribe the video interview with an AI transcriber, which they used to do themselves before. So those are the little things that that we are currently using to just help us move a little bit faster.
We're going to throw in really quick that AI is great at code assistance, and for many of us, like thinking about our future careers in communications, where do we tie into coding, computer science? Where do we tie back into an AI world, right? Like if you're working with sites that are built in WordPress or Drupal, that's probably going to be one of the fastest places where this is moving, because you can have a computer engineer build source code and then teach an AI assistant to be able to build all the other things off of it. That way, you don't have to have as many folks doing the manual coding work of changing single characters in pieces of code. You can just tell this assistant to do a specific function. So our web strategy teams are dipping into that right now as well.
I love that. Thank you. And I think, ethical use of AI is something that is a conversation across all of advancement. And some of our leaders have put out, guides to help us understand, how should we be using AI to, definitely help us and make us, work better. But how do we make sure that we are being ethical about that and still really bringing a human touch to it? So it's a really great topic, and thank you for the question, whoever asked that. All right, looking at the next group of questions here, I'm going to kind of mix two together. So there was a question about what do we think is the most important skill for pursuing a career in marketing? And I did see somebody asked, Valentina and Stephen, about your academic and work background to understand how you got to where you are. So I wonder if those can mix a little bit together. Tell us a little bit about your backgrounds, and then maybe highlight, what you thought got you to where you are, and any advice that you would give to students looking to grow their career.
Okay, You go. Got the hint. Okay, so well, for me particularly, I have a bachelor's in mass media communications. Originally, I wanted to be a journalist. That was kind of how I started, but I'm from Venezuela. At the time, journalism was a career that was being politically blocked. So there was not a lot of future in journalism. So I decided at that time to pivot, and instead of minoring in journalism, I decided to move towards advertising and marketing. From there, I then did a master's in business administration with a minor in strategic marketing. And parallel to that, I did some courses in creative direction and art in Argentina, where I did my master's. So Argentina is like the bed of the best creative advertising in the world. So as I was there, it made sense to study creativity and creative direction and advertising creativity in that place. So I took a lot of classes in that around that and got certificates on that. But I worked my entire college time in Venezuela. A university degree, a bachelor's degree is 5 years. So by the time I graduated, I had 5 years of experience in my field, and I was able to start working in different types of marketing. So I worked in in-house marketing departments. I worked in advertising agencies. I also consulted in nonprofit marketing spaces. So between all my experience at work, I worked at Red Bull for a while, so also in-house marketing department. By the time I graduated and started my career, I had a little bit of experience in different roles around marketing and communications. And then after I decided to retire I worked in big advertising agencies for a lot of years. After that, I decided to carve my own path and open my own agency. So before I took this job at UW, I had my own branding and advertising agency for 11 years. And that kind of gave me sort of the last perspective I was missing, which was the entrepreneurial side of marketing advertising. So I've been, let's say, the client, the accounts person, the creative, the entrepreneur, the in-house person. So particularly for me, it has been very key to be able to have kind of like a holistic 360-degree view of what the industry and the space looks like. So that way I can relate to, say, all of the partners and all of the pieces that come into place for me to be able to do my work. Also working in multicultural spaces, I do a lot of work with Hispanic markets, so always working in a bilingual environment was also very helpful for me. Opened a lot of doors because it's not very common to find creatives that can speak more than and work in more than one language. So that was very advantageous once I came to live here in the United States, because I had kind of like a secret weapon to communicate with the Hispanic market that recruiters and clients found very useful for where the market is going. I would say, to answer the question of what would be a good skill to have, what has helped me is to kind of be a little bit of a Swiss Army knife, but not necessarily having to know how to do all the jobs, but understanding all the jobs. And being able to see, let's say, your role, at least for a creative director, you need to be able to see the work from multiple points of view all at once to be able to have a holistic strategic approach to the work that we do. So for my specific role, that has been very important, and it has also made me able to work in more strategic spaces where I can collaborate, let's say, with Steven's team, and I've had experience in web development. I understand what their work looks like, so I can better inform my team on how to collaborate with them in the best way possible and make sure that how we work complements how they work. So I would say the more you know around your craft, whatever that is, the better I think you'll be equipped to be able to handle the most diverse kind of projects. And I know, I mean, after many conversations, I know that's one of the things that I at least attracted my boss about me very much, is how versatile I could be, and the let's say comprehensive and holistic perspective I could bring to the table.
Gosh, I hate to follow that. Yeah, I wanted to. Well, so I am from a super small town in Alabama. I have parents that really encouraged me to take advantage of educational opportunities. Really, like, nerdy kid, I set up a news desk on the fireplace because I wanted to be like Anderson Cooper, CNN journalist. I studied broadcast journalism and international relations, and spent a few years doing that type of work. And it really did afford me the opportunity not only to get my hands dirty in the field of journalism, but along the way I'm trying to learn how to use the cameras. I want to learn how the production engineers are using the equipment. And I think one of the skills, like Valentina is mentioning, learn as much as you can along the way of what as many different people do. That way you can be part of the conversation. You can help steer where the broad direction of something goes. So, I could have really stuck to being a reporter and being out in the field and like saying, oh, I don't get behind the camera. I'm always going to let some camera person shoot for me. But instead, I want to know how to do that skill as well. I want to know how to edit video as well. And it really helped me in cases where it came into a pinch. Sometimes I was out by myself shooting my own video and editing the story for air. But at some point I realized I didn't want to be, getting older, thinking about wanting to have a more stable environment and still sort of chasing down news stories. So I really wanted to shift and find my own niche in the place that I was in. I started using social media as it tied to journalism at a time where not many TV stations even had Twitter accounts or Instagram accounts where they were covering news. And that's where we found that this is going to be a source of news for people in the future. So and now these days every news account has a Twitter account and an Instagram. They're sharing this for news. So I spent some time traveling around to TV stations, helping them, doing consulting work and helping them set up integrated services between social media and their websites to make sure we can do the most with these tools that we have. That work is what allowed me to transition when I had personally decided, gosh, I don't want to be covering crime stories for the rest of my life. I got hired at Georgia Tech, worked at a public university, knowing that that would allow me to get a master's degree if I so chose. I chose Georgia Tech because it was in Atlanta, a major city. And knowing I wanted to get something completely different from journalism as a master's degree. So I went back and did my master's in computer science and French. I did some work with the State Department, doing marketing type work. Worked with the U.S. Agency for International Development, working on travel campaigns in sort of lower income nations. We worked with large international companies like Starbucks and Jergens and Nestle on food accessibility campaigns. And just one thing I think is, don't wait for opportunities to come to you. Like, ask how you can get involved. And if you see a need, sometimes it's like doing something where you weren't asked. Pull up a report and provide data for someone where you're like, it would be really impactful for me to show this to my leadership. I'm not going to wait for somebody to ask me to do something. And I think that's really what helped me along my career, of not waiting to be told to do something and identifying a need and jumping in. And that's, I even do that now of like, how am I going to push people to do the same thing? Of identify, there's a really great opportunity at hand here. Let's see how we can move on that. So I'm lucky in the career field here now at UW that I'm tapping into that computer science master's degree with working on web dev and UX, and it really does represent this position represents the sort of intersection of all the things that I've worked on in my career. So it's been rewarding. I'm excited about the things that we're working on and the things that are still to come with UMAC.
I love that. Thank you. I love getting to know the amazing people that we work with even better. And this is just such a great opportunity. I am going to pivot, just looking at the time, to some recruiting-based type questions. I've seen a couple come in. So one that came in earlier was just the types of roles that we are hiring for, and a general, what are we looking for? So I'm going to answer a little bit of that before, giving the floor to Valentina and Stephen to think about, what stands out as you're reviewing resumes. Luckily, we're fresh off of reviewing resumes, so you might have some ideas in your head of what really stood out. But to give you an example of positions that we have had open recently, now I will say with a caveat that they are closed currently, but we are in the process of recruiting for an art director to support Valentina's team, as well as an associate director for creative operations. Think project management, traffic management, really making the creative process more efficient. And then coming soon are going to be some roles that will focus on a project that we're working on with, that UMAC is working on, called Profound Engagement at Scale. And this is really looking at how we can continue to engage our audiences. Roles that will be coming are a digital marketing automation specialist, a WordPress developer / front-end developer, and a segment manager. I think that we'll be seeing that later in the fall. So at the end of this,
No pressure.
I know.
And a copywriter. I owe you a JP, but a copywriter is coming.
A copywriter. So I will, drop some links in the chat, that'll share how you stay on top of things, right? So the second the position posts, it will be reflected on our careers website that Stephen's wonderful team helped us build. And we will also share on LinkedIn all of those positions as soon as they open. I see the question about student assistant roles. We don't have positions open right this moment. Jordan, you can correct me if I am wrong. But those will post on Handshake. We post all student positions on Handshake. Typical internship opportunities that UMAC has, content writing interns. I believe we do have a one on the web team as well. And I'm thinking about others, graphic design internships. Jordan, you might.
Photography interns, we have 2 every year. Events also has an intern, if I remember correctly. Social media also has an intern.
We have 2 a web dev and a web strategy intern. We have an internal communications intern. All of our the people who run the visitor center in Odegaard are all also student employees as well. So that's also another call out. I think they make up like half of our intern population, actually.
I think so. So there are a lot of opportunities. I feel like we have a little bit of an influx right before the school year starts, so kind of that August, September timeframe. And then my experience has been with the new year that sometimes there are additional opportunities. So please keep an eye out on Handshake. If you see that it is, advancement or university marketing communications, please feel free to reach out to us and we can tell you a little bit about us. Yeah, and Liao, I see your ask here to save additional questions. We can absolutely do that. I do want to pop just a couple of links in the chat real fast before we break out.
Oh, I need to grab that.
Yep, and this will give you a chance, Valentina, to get situated. So one thing I want to add here are just the different ways to follow when we have positions post. So in the chat, I'm going to put our career page for university advancement. And again, that does include UMAC. And then our advancement careers LinkedIn. The second we post an opening, pretty much that day, the position is shared on LinkedIn as well. That's probably the easiest way. I don't know if anybody's gone to the UW career page, but it can be, there's a lot. There's probably a couple thousand positions. So definitely keep in touch there. And thank you, Jordan, for your LinkedIn. I will also pop mine in here as well. Please feel free to connect.
You good?
And one final plug that I want to make, and this is going to be a little bit more full-time employment focused, but we do have a virtual career fair coming up later in October. This is going to be for all of UW advancement, but again, that does include marketing and communications. You will have an opportunity to hear a presentation about all of advancement, who we are, the types of roles. We'll go a little more in depth into the recruiting process and tips and tricks for applying for roles with us. And then you do have an opportunity to sign up for a one-on-one informational coaching session with either myself or I have 2 other recruiters on my team who would be happy to chat. So I am going to pop in. This is a link directly to register for the career fair. It is noon to 1 on October 15th. And if you're interested, we would love to see you there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda.